All right, so we're still monitoring voter registration weekend, of course, for the upcoming 2024 national and provincial elections. Let's go to SABC News reporter Hasina Gori. I think she's still in Slovo Park informal settlement. That's south of Johannesburg. Good morning to you, Hasina. What's the latest there? When I spoke to you a bit earlier on, you did say that the numbers were not really quite enticing or quite much. What's the situation there like now?
Good morning, Crisalda. Yes, when we spoke earlier, quite a short little trickle of people coming in, but we've seen those numbers slowly and steadily grow here. There's a slight number of people that are, gathered at this IEC voter registration station, one of the 23,000 that are open this weekend for that final registration weekend here in the south of Johannesburg, as you mentioned. And what we've seen here is many, despite their frustrations that they have with the governance of this area, the issues with the leadership that they've seen over the last few years, coming out and voting. Some hoping that this time that their vote will make some kind of difference, that they will bring in a new governing party and that they would see the development that they need in this area. As I mentioned in our last crossing, this area, the last time we were here, SABC News visited when they were protesting in August last year, barricading and closing the N12. It was violent protests that led to the death of one 16-year-old teenager who was believed to have been shot dead during crossfires with the police and protesters. In that time, they've been protesting on the development of the area, among many of the things, the issue of water, sanitation, as well as just the criminality in this area, that they're saying that they've heard from the Premier, Panyaza Lesufi, coming out here, promising them that in 3 weeks he would return. However, that is still, not anything that they've seen happening since then. The matter was also taken to the highest court, to the High Court in 2016. That was an order that was granted that this area should be developed. That's still 8 years later not being done. I want to bring into the conversation a community leader. Kenneth, thank you so much for speaking to us. Can you just start with, you are meeting, the community here. You're also a leader in this area. We're in the last voter registration weekend. How are the community feeling and what's their sentiments around the elections?
First, I will say that we have lost hope in our government because we have tried to engage with various structures in terms of government, from the national to provincial up to the municipality. The community, they really love to vote, many of them, because voting is our constitutional right. But the problem that we are facing, we won the judgment against the city of Joburg in 2016, instructing the city to develop Slovo Park. Since from then, the only thing that we've had is only electricity up until last year, where there was a strike. Premier Panyaza Lesufi came to Slovo. He never promised anything. He actually said that he's going to come back after 3 weeks. He's going to access to see the information that he has around Slovo Park. Since from then, we've never heard anything from the Premier. We are facing high unemployment here in Slovo. Crime, it's happening a lot, especially for the weekend that we're coming from. There was a big robbery happening there on top. Police are not saving Slovo Park. It's almost like we're an island. Yeah.
We know that almost 100,000 new voters are expected to come on the roll this voter registration or this election period. How are the youth feeling, the young here in Slovo Park? Do they have any hope that an election and this democratic process is going to help them and their future?
It depends. I would say it's 50-50. There are other young people who have never voted, who have joined, especially now Umkhonto weSizwe. Like many young people now, they want to vote to see change. So, but many of them, they do want to vote here, but some they don't have documents. Many of them, they don't have birth certificate, they don't have nothing, but they do want to participate in the elections.
Was there any drive done here by Home Affairs to assist with getting those documentations for those first-time voters?
No. The only time that we saw a Home Affairs, it came during Panyaza, when he arrived here in Slovo Park. Yes, he tried to come with Home Affairs, but most resources. Yeah, and those other ones. We tried to engage even with the councillor and everyone, but it seems like there is no help coming from the government.
Thank you so much. One of the community leaders here at Slovo Park, Kenneth, speaking to us, giving a sense of the community here, saying that the youth, from the interactions he's had and with his party, that they have found that there is some kind of a hope and drive from the youth wanting to vote. However, he did bring up the issue around documentation, that some do not have just even birth certificates, which make it harder for them to vote or register to vote, because as we've been mentioning, that those that do want to register to vote, they do need their South African IDs. They would need to either come physically to one of these voter stations or also access that information online. We've seen people coming through. We've seen various, just earlier on we saw some of those that were not able-bodied coming in, showing that the IEC process has ensured that there's access and accessibility to every single South African that wants to vote. They're able to access these voter registrations. It's done in these communities. We've seen the process running quite smoothly here, with no issues with around either any kind of documentation that was needed by the IEC officials. So here in Slovo Park, it's all systems go. The numbers still not being very high, but we're seeing a steady flow of people coming in to either register for the first time or to verify their information. But Criselda, it's ongoing here. We'll continue to monitor it, but for now, back to you in studio.
Hasina, thank you very much indeed. It's going to be a long day indeed. Those registration centres are closing at 5 o'clock this afternoon. So if you haven't gone out to go and register to vote, you can certainly do that. And I guess many people will be registering online as well on the online portal. We'll certainly hear from the IEC a bit later on today what the status is and how many people basically got to register or check their details today.